This is Tanvir Muhammad Masood, and in this part, a very short video, I will try to tell you an event, an incident that took place in the life of Prophet Adam alayhi salam, or Adam alayhi salam as we call him in Urdu. As we know that Prophet Adam was the first prophet or the first human being that was basically created by God, and he was basically the most superior human being, since God has made we humans as the most superior one, and he was the first human being that was created by Allah, and he was the first prophet of Islam. And what exactly happened once is that, in fact, this event is in here in the Holy Quran too, and it basically states like this, begins like this. At once the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Adam, was basically seated in the paradise. He had everything of his daily necessities. Everything was in there, from luxury items to necessary items. Everything was in there, and he was basically seated alone in paradise. He had everything to eat. He had everything to enjoy, but he wanted something he could spend some precious time with. He was all alone, and he wanted one partner, a company to spend time with. So he accordingly requested Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding the same, and the very other day he was awarded, or rather he was provided with another human creator. She was basically Eve alayhi salam, or we call her in Urdu Hawa alayhi salam. So basically Adam was created for Eve, and they were the first human being, husband and wife, man and woman, in paradise. But at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exhorted and asked them and commanded them not to go to a forbidden garden, or not to go to that garden and eat fruit of that particular garden. There was one garden, and they were asked by God, by Allah, not to eat the fruit of that garden. They were strictly prohibited from eating the fruit of that garden that was in there, in that part of paradise. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had strictly forbidden them not to eat the fruit of that garden. But what exactly happened is that Satan had somehow tried to persuade them, somehow tried to make them astray and go against the commandments of Allah. They somehow were really coaxed, and they were, in fact, there was astray by the coaxings and by the persuasions of Satan. And what happened is that they somehow managed to reach that garden, and they ate the fruit of, or rather the forbidden fruit that was strictly forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And once they ate the fruit, there was this commandment of Allah coming, or rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded them to go, or rather to get out of paradise and fend for themselves on the earth, and basically live as common human beings. Now this was really not expected, and in fact both Adam and Eve